Hello, hello. I'm Aarnimetsa from pokerimania.com, and we are here for a from hundo to $1,000 challenge. And today, when I talked about it, also we talked a bit on Skype with one of our English members, danitah. And as we can see here, that it's surprising, but danitah is starting a similar challenge as well. And we have
Mm.
danitah here with me today.
Yeah, hello, I'm danitah.
And so it's going to be a similar challenge. So we are both going from $100, and you have two sit and go tickets, and you have a almost completed step.
Mm.
And I had a bit more. I had a 10% complete step, and now it's somewhere like 40% complete. But
Yeah, I knew that I was going to get it in like the first session,
so, have you already started your grind?
yeah, I played for about 1 hour and I won around $15.
That's going to be a great start. My first
Mm.
session, you can see it in here. We did it on stream in Finnish coaching.
Mm. Mm.
So I actually did probably end somewhere in here. So it was minus $30. Not the best start for this kind of a project.
Yeah, it's most critical in the beginning, definitely.
I think that there is some possibility to get broke at the start of these sessions, and maybe if I would have started with another games, like I'm playing only hyper sit and goes,
Yeah.
and my bankroll management is going to be here. It's in a text format,
Mm.
and danitah's bankroll management is here in a smarter looking Excel format. And we can see that danitah is playing quite a few different structures. How did you start shaping your bankroll management?
Uh, Basically just kind of by intuition, I think.
Yeah. It's interesting to see that there's the 9 max any, that's the start there.
Yeah,
So
I'm going to play hypers as much as I can and then adding turbos and maybe regular speed.
I thought this myself, that if I would have done this challenge just as a one table challenge, I
Mm.
think that then I could have been even a bit more aggressive, as there is always an option if dropping down enough that there would be the 50-cent games, the 9 max games that are quite good.
Yeah.
And actually, one question that was asked from me, that why I'm not playing those hyper knockouts, is that the rake is going to be, I think the rake is even more than it's in the comparable non-knockout structures.
Yeah.
So that's one question, that are you going to add any knockouts to your structures, or is it going to be,
No, I'm not going to.
and your goal is to finish within 2 weeks. Have you gotten any idea on how many games it's going to take, or what's your goal on how many games you are going to play per day?
Mm, Per day, it's maybe like 400 or something, I would guess.
So if you're playing 400 games a day, that's going to be like half of hypers, 60% of hypers, or what do you think?
Mm, Probably like more than 80%, I would say, are going to be hypers.
Is this a
So
struct? Yeah,
yeah, maybe it's a bit too ambitious with 2 weeks, but yeah.
I think it's, if 80% is going to be hypers, then it's going to be interesting. And I
Mm.
noticed that you have added 6 max hypers recently, and but you are playing quite a wide variety of structures. Have you played the similar cocktail of structure before, or?
Yeah, I did play for about 2 weeks, only 6 max hypers, and then I started learning to play them together with 9max. So I think I can do okay with that.
Have you tried mixing 6 maxes, 9 maxes, and 18 mans at the same time, or is it something new that you are going to learn with the project?
Mm, I did do it a little bit, I don't think I'm going to do that too much because yeah, and I think I'm going to get enough games only in 9 max and 6 max. So maybe I will play either 9 max and 6 max or 9 max and 18 man.
Mm. And Ratarata says that, whoa, I've always thought that Danitah is a female. For my Finnish ears, it sounds like a female name. Yeah, I said to Danitah that there is a Finnish celebrity that did advertise for online poker for, it was Anita Hirvonen that advertised that online poker is a game that you can play naked. But
Yeah.
and that's something that I have had a connection with your name, but it's, and we also saw or I also saw danitah in the games, so you are getting fans or
Yeah, maybe.
copycats. Um, but so this looks like an interesting project, and I think that you can get some advantage over me in that you are also adding regular speed, since you should be up at 3.5s quite quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that this is, if I'm looking at that I'm going to give someone bankroll management advice, I think that this looks really good if you know how to play all those different games.
Yeah.
So I think this is quite the solid bankroll management, and if it's like 14 days, that's the 2 weeks, and about 400 games a day, then it's going to be like 5.6k games in total, and
Yeah.
that's actually going to be, if you are playing like 5.6k games, on average it should be something like 6% of ROI, 7% of ROI after rate pack is taken into account. So it's like 300 buy-ins that you are probably you could win if it comes according to plan.
Yeah.
And from Ratarata, good luck. This is something that we need, and probably we need most of the good luck we need at the early stages. And Danitah is already, I think he's then $20 ahead of me. I think when I'm starting this English coaching, I'm at $96 and something like 42% complete on the $50 bonus.
Yeah.
So have you gotten the bonus yet, or is it? Did
Yes.
it?
Yeah. I did get it already.
Okay.
Uh,
So do you have any plans in how can you get the volume up on the days that you're playing? That do you have any ideas on how you are going to structure your days?
not really. I'm just going to play sessions when I can. So yeah, there might be some small volume days, like 200 games or something.
And that's also something that there might be some small volume games and 200 or a day or something.
Mm,
That's still in sit and goes. In general, I think that's pretty good volume. And even in hypers, I don't see much players playing over 6k average a month. So
yeah,
even the low volume days seem to be quite high volume days.
yeah. 200 games, I think, is like 2.5 hours or something.
You're actually getting quite comparable game amounts. If it's 2.5 hours for you, then it's going to be like close to 80 games an hour.
Mm,
That's surprising. I thought that having about 20% of other games than hypers would cut even more of your.
yeah. It's less if I play other games, of course. But
Yeah, I thought that if I'm playing myself, if I'm playing the 2022 tables of hypers, it's going to be somewhere between 85 and 105, depending on a run.
yeah,
The run matters a lot. That if you are getting deep in the games, you don't get the volume, but of course it's going to be awesome since you are winning money.
yeah.
And there's also the stuff that you are gold star, so that's one thing. I'm starting to think that do I have any questions or comments still here. If our chat has any questions on danitah, now is the perfect time to ask.
Yeah.
There's actually one that you said that you have wanted to do a bankroll challenge. Like, what's that coming from that you wanted to do a bankroll challenge? Do you have some kind of a learning goal as well?
I'm not sure I would say a learning goal, but I would say like it's something different from just grinding normally every day.
Yeah, and I think that if you can do that in a 2 weeks, that's also going to be quite cool, since from the $50 to 5K project, practically one thing that I learned that I'm never going to be broke in poker, since even if really crap stuff happens, then I can still grind the 1 or 2K up in a month, even with
Yeah.
terrible run. So that's also something that why having a challenge like this is cool. And I think actually that you are one of the guys that from our forum that will be among the highest of the possibility of hitting a really good goal, since you are one of the best multi-tablers, and also I think that you are really solid. And the first idea that I had, and I probably sent you the Skype message on that, I don't know if it's a good idea, especially if I'm going to see 1.5s, that danitah is going to be on all 1.5s with me. Since I think that the games are going to get a lot tougher, since I think you are probably, if we are at the same 1.5s, I can almost guarantee, or I can probably guarantee that you are probably the best opponent on those tables, and you are going to make the games tougher.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same for you, of course.
And Grey Fox asked that how many tables do you play? I'm going to play 20 to 22 or 19 to 22. It depends a bit on how many 9 maxes I'm getting. I'm trying to add like at least up to 18 tables. I'm adding 6 maxes, and then I'm trying to add the rest of the tables as 9 maxes, since I'm trying to keep a system going that the most of my games are going to be 9 maxes, at least until I'm getting a bit more of a bankroll to not worry about going broke. And danitah, how many tables are you playing?
Pretty much the same amount, I think.
And Moge from Finland is saying what side this challenge is going. We are both playing on PokerStars, and it's basically yesterday when I talked about it, I thought that this might be interesting to also do in Poker Loco or some of those other sites, but it's going to be harder if there are not enough games running, since this is mainly going to be a volume challenge. Even when reading from Caleon's stories on Poker Loco, for example, it's something that the ROIs that you can achieve there are going to be way higher, especially with also the rakebacks. And and Caleon said that there's quite an even voting. There's something that you didn't add a voting on your
Oh,
project.
and do you think I should?
I think it might be interesting to see that what's going to be the idea, but I
Yeah.
also think that when you started playing those 6 max hypers, I think that when I searched you, you first started at like 1.5s or 3.5s, and then you grinded your way up from there. So you probably know a bit about those $1.5 games already.
In the NIMAX, yeah.
And you are one of those guys that has grinded up from 9 maxes, and I actually haven't in PokerStars. I have never played the smallest hyper stakes as my main game. Since when I moved to PokerStars, I already played at the highest sit and goes in on game, and pretty high sit and goes in full tilt poker. And when I moved to PokerStars, I think it was at the time where only hyper games that were running were $7 and $30 games. So that was quite some time ago.
Yeah.
And Kaleon said that everybody's starting the challenge at the same time. Suddenly 1.5s are tougher than 50s.
Yeah, but I hope not too many of the other regs get this idea.
Yeah, I actually think that if Kaleon would start as well, then 1.5 would probably get tougher
Yeah.
than 50s if there would be all the time there would be three top regs. And I was actually quite surprised that in 1.5s I have seen that there are like two or three, at least in my opinion, they seem to be pretty good regs, and they seem to know what they're doing, and they don't have
Yeah,
any accurate leaks. And I'm pretty surprised about it.
yeah, I know. I did see like two or three regs when I played earlier.
But it's also interesting to see that there are sometimes, and there were some $15 games. I think that there were four or five players from Poker Mania, and now I think that there might be some hypers that there will be on NYMAX hypers at 1.5s. That I think that we can get four players at the same, since I have been in three Poker Mania player games already. So
Mm.
will be interesting. Will be interesting, and I probably need to add some delay, or have a small break and add some delay to the time that I start playing. So one thing that's going to keep my volume down a bit is that I'm going to try to stream every day that I'm going to be playing. So this week I should play every day except Saturday, and the streams will be in Finnish on days that there will be a Finnish coaching. So if you can see the coaching timetable, of course in the English side it doesn't show even the Finnish coachings, but basically I think that if there is not Kubernetes coaching is Saturday, it's in English. So the Friday stream will be in English, and it will be at the same time that I do. So you can see some of the games there, and hopefully some Six Max hypers as well. And I will be on Saturday. I will be in Finland, so I won't be playing then. So my week is going to be up when 16th of June ends up, and that's going to be my goal to get up to 1,000 before the 16th day rolls by, and seems that danitah is going to aim for 23rd. Or do you have some kind of an explanations also that you are going to take some free days, or what's your plan?
Um, Maybe I will take one or two.
So
I'm not sure.
so we are going to cheer you up on the last games on midsummer or around midsummer
Yeah.
festivities. Are there going to be big midsummer festivities in Norway, or is it a big thing there?
In my town, it's like in August. There's like a music festival here.
Like I say that if it's in Norway that even midsummer festival is in August, then it's like your summers are even shorter than ours. But
It's basically late summer, I guess.
yeah,
So I live in pretty small place, so generally there's not a lot of stuff going on there.
yeah. In Finland, we are having those midsummer festivities that people are burning big bonfires, and basically probably it's a reason to for most of the people to burn big bonfires
Yeah.
and get drunk in the middle of summer. So that's probably like these are the two things that you shouldn't really combine, but
Yeah.
Finns do combine those, and
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
like combining swimming. So that's one of the things that's pretty sad in Finland, that it's also resulting in some casualties every year.
Mm. Yeah. We have the same thing here, so
Yeah. Usually it's going to be the pretty much the same in the Fenno Scandinavian countries, that we are having almost the same traditions, but sometimes it's fun to ask that if it's the same or similar there.
Yeah. Mm.
I think that it's going to be that I'm going to say good luck to you on your project, and I think that soon we are going to. I don't know if you are starting to play, but I think that soon I'm going to start to play, and there's probably going to be some 9max action, since 9max is going to be the games that I'm playing if there is just enough games going, and that's what I'm going to start with. So we might be playing some games together. So I'll probably add a bit of delay here on the stream, but
Yeah, I'm not going to play until after the stream, but good luck on the session and the project. So, mm.
uh, there is Rataratos question still. How do you guys see the future of sit and goes? And I would guess it's the hardest format to play professionally these days because of spin and goes and stuff, and edges have to be very thin when you raise limits. What's your opinion on the future of sit and goes?
Well, the problem I think in like at least up to $15 is not the ROIs, but more the volume you can get.
I think one of the key things is also on like where you can play professionally.
Yeah,
That it used to be that you could play professionally just playing at one site, and then at some point it used to be like, for example, when I played on full tilt poker, at sometimes it was that I could get like 4 to 6 tables running, and then I played like pretty much every table that started on full tilt and on game, and
yeah,
some of those added. And what do you think of? I think that the future of sit and goes is looking quite bleak, especially like after the spin and goes hit. Like before spin and goes hit, I think that the volumes were quite good, and you can play only 9max hypers, and you can get some $30, $60, and $100 running. But nowadays, I don't even remember when I have seen the last $30. Like there's like one or two $30 games running in the evenings, and in the nights there's like no chance of getting any $30 games running even.
yeah,
And one, I think it's quite smart on your part to also add six maxes in the because six maxes are running way better, and there is still chance. And I think that in six maxes also the volume has been the problem, since after Supernova Elite was removed, I think that a lot of players are that were playing games that they can't win pre-rakeback. But after rakeback, if you are doing like if you are after rakeback, if you are doing like $2 or $3 on average per game, that lasts on average for let's say 8 to 12 minutes, you can do quite well if you can play like 10 to 12 tables. You can do quite a nice hourly.
yeah. And also the six maxes they are after the six max knockouts they are running a lot less. So.
Yeah, it was a crappy
Mm.
situation.
Yeah,
And I think that with sit and goes, it might be that it's going to the direction that MTTs have already gone. That you'll need to play on multiple sites to be able to play as a pro. And like you can see from Caleon streams lately that he has a really good system going on with stack and tile that can play on multiple sites at once. And for example, on 888 poker, I just did the numbers. I tried all the games. Like I think that the attainable ROIs are quite good at 888 poker, and you can win in the games and not through rakeback. But the rakeback right now it's quite non-existent in 888. But
mm.
the problem is that your average buy-in, if you try to play like 10 games, you need to add something like $5 games, or then you need to add all double or nothings, and then you have a huge amount of different structures, and you still have only games when it's on the peak time.
Yeah,
I think that sit and goes are probably going to be a game that's at its last legs. If I had to guess, that probably probably hyperturbo heads ups are going to be the first game to really die, since there are so many good tools into solving those, and the rakes are at there are still sites that rakes are quite high, but pretty much the sit and goes. The problem is that when PokerStars is nearly a monopoly, and their rewards aren't that good anymore, and also like if they are increasing rake, for example, if they increase rake for 2%, I probably won't play there anymore. Like it's just going to be no use, since then the hourlies will be so small that I think that you can do better in MTTs or cash game.
Yeah.
But I
It,
think that one of the good things on being good in sit and goes is that I think most of the skills are quite translatable to MTTs, for example. And I think
mm,
MTTs are the last game to die, since there are going to be a lot of random players and the ROIs are sky high. And
yeah.
Steve84 asked that which one will win, penguins or sharks? Do you even know what's it about?
I would guess it's something about hockey, but
Yeah, it's the NHL finals, so.
okay.
And I'd say to Kauris that I hope that Sharks win, because then there will be a lot more games to come. But I think that Penguins are going to be the favorites by far. Well, we have talked a bit over than what I think that we talked about, but it was
Mm,
fun talking with you, and really fun to have like competition in the project, since I think it's going to be something to drive you further when there's also going to be someone else doing, and now it's adding some more drive, since we are having a guy that's or I'm having a guy that's ahead of me already after the first sessions.
mm. Yeah, it's going to be fun, I think.
It's going to be fun, and I think that we are going to play quite a few hands together.
Yeah.
And the project is going to be fun, but I'm not looking that much towards playing hands with you. So I just hope that I see you as little in my games as I can. But if I see you in more games, then it's going to be. I know that it's going to be a battleground already. So
You have to try to move up to 3.5 as soon as you can.
yeah, or play six maxes or something,
Yeah.
since you are adding six max hypers a lot later. But
Yeah.
as I said earlier, best of luck, and nice to have competition, and nice to have some
Mm.
good goals and good good competition to drive you further. So,
Mm. Thanks, and good luck to you too.
and thanks for everybody in the chat. And now I'm going to have like we can say bye bye to danitah, and if there are some comments, I think that he'll listen and he'll read the chat later on.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take something like 3 or 4 minutes break, and then we'll start with the games, and I'll add some delay, and then we'll start with the games. And
Mm.
thank you a lot, danitah. It's always nice to have someone else here speaking with me, and you're a great guest as always. So
Thanks.
thanks, and we'll see you on the tables.
Yeah. See you.